Today, live, we have a very special guest, Jakey Wakey, in person. Since this is arguably the most important interview you'll ever do, why did you decide not to shave?
This. As you know, I just wrote a book, and that's what this interview should be about, right? But in it is like a lot of overcoming obstacles, and the book is essentially about becoming unstuck. So a lot of times, things that hold us back are just simple things that we use as excuses to not actually do something. Like, I can't film the video because I didn't shave my face, or, just different things like that. Sometimes we don't get the things done that we want to do because we make excuses for them.
So let's talk about that.
So for instance, I couldn't finish that song because I didn't have that instrument, I didn't have that guitar, I didn't have that sample. I couldn't finish that picture because I didn't have my eraser, or I didn't have my paper, or whatever it is. Like, we make excuses for so many things, and not shaving, it could have been an excuse for not making this video.
As a musician, why do you think anyone would care that you decided to write a book?
Okay, well, that's easy. I think most people probably just don't care, actually. I think that's really a problem in society today in general. People care about too many things that they can't control. Like, if you've ever tried to get your friend to do something and you knew it would help him, like, if you just would eat this, or go on this diet, or work out this amount, or stop drinking booze, or stop gambling, or any of those kinds of things. If I could just get this one person to do one thing, then that person would be so much better off. And we think that a lot about all kinds of people that aren't ourselves. And so if we can't get our friend who knows that we care about them to do anything different, then the chances are we can't change anything out here, out in the world. Any cause or anything that we care about, anything that we feel like has been wronged with the earth or with anything like that, chances are we're not gonna make any kind of dent if you can't get your friend to stop drinking Coke. That's why I always say the only person that you can change is yourself. And that's why I think this book is so important, is because it makes it easy for you to start to change yourself. As just a testament to what's in the book, I just wanted to say it was because of the concepts in the book that I was able to start making music again after, 10, 15 years or something. So it's a very short book. There's some very simple exercises in there.
I have to admit, I've been a huge fan for a long time. And I recently listened to your new song, I Can Be Happy. And to be honest, it didn't sound that happy. Did you want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, it's called I Can Be Happy, not I'm super happy right now. The sentiment is there, and there's some solace and gravitas to the song where you can feel the underlying potential of happiness in the song. But at the same time, there's this sadness because you're feeling the emptiness of that. Like, it's under there somewhere, it's in there somewhere. It's just, am I gonna let other things, outside things, influence that? Am I gonna let all the other things influence me? Or am I going to be at peace with myself and allow the happiness to unfold? And it's really that simple. Just sang along to some loops and got inspired, and it kind of came out of nowhere.
Okay. Somehow I know that you actually play instruments and that you know a little bit about music theory. So can you just give me some of your reasoning behind using loops and pre-made beats?
Okay. There's two things happening, right? There's musicianship and artist, and the most famous artists in the world don't necessarily play their own music, at least not necessarily in the recording. So that should be just obvious by itself. Doja Cat, I'm sure she's not playing the beats she's making, or Dua Lipa, or Post Malone. None of these guys are making their own tracks, even though they may or may not have the ability to do that. So I think that's where that comes from. It's like, what can inspire me so that I just can create? I'm more easily motivated to finish a song by just like listening to different things until I hear something that ignites a spark. Then I start humming and singing along and coming up with lyrics, and that process for me has been just faster. So, there's a long, complicated thing we could say about that, and we could talk about rap, and we could talk about how the production process is for that type of music and where that's come from. But the short version is that it's simply the most inspiring and the easiest way for me to fulfill an idea, to like finish an idea and to put a song out there for you. And a lot of times I will actually go back and play over top of the beat or the loops or the instrumental that I've decided to work with once I have a foundation for the song laid out.
Okay, well, let's go back to the book for a second, because I think that's kind of fascinating. You wrote this book, you're trying to gain some clarity in your own life, and it feels like you found a little bit. It feels like you understand a little more of who you are and what you're trying to become. But for those out there, how is this process of discovering yourself, how does that benefit you in any real way? What if they're not an artist or a musician or even a content creator? How is your book going to help those people?
Well, I think a lot more people are artists and musicians than they give themselves credit for. So it can definitely help those people. But in the case that you're a math person, analytical person, or something like that, I feel like the reality is that most people don't really know who they are. They don't know what they look like to someone else. We all have this sort of idea, this version of ourselves in our head. And when we're confronted with the reality of what we really are, what we really look like, it can be difficult. Even me, over the course of creating several videos, it helps me to realize, oh, my voice is kind of squeaky. Oh, when I speak, sometimes I go up at the end and I sound like I'm asking questions, even though I'm clearly making a statement. Those kinds of things. And those kinds of things you notice by following some of the tips that I give in the book will really help you to become more self-aware, because I think that's really the underlying crux of getting unstuck, is becoming more self-aware of where you are and then becoming the person you want to be and moving toward the place that you want to go. I want everybody to be able to look at themselves in the mirror and not hate themselves and get unstuck and be better versions of themselves. And if there's like a little spark inside of you and you feel like you're stuck, but you want to ignite that spark and you want to get some stuff done, you want to do things, and you want to be a better version of yourself, if there's any ounce of you that feels that, then that's who I want to help. And I don't want to put that behind a paywall. I want you to get the information. It's very short. It's not a long book. Just get the information and then become that better, unstuck version of yourself. That's all I want. And then also, of course, I enjoy people listening to my music and I enjoy people watching my videos. And I'm hoping this message is reaching the right people.
And there you have it, folks. Jakey Wakey himself in the flesh. And I'm sure you'll be seeing more of Jakey Wakey after you download the book.
Yes, it's been great fun doing this interview, and I look forward to seeing you again.
Okay, and thanks one more time for being on here, Jakey Wakey. It really means a lot. So, well, I think it's cool that you've become even more creative as you've gotten older. And I'm looking forward to hearing new music and also reading the book myself. For those of you that are watching, you can get the book, Something Is Wrong With You, because, well, you know why. You already said why.